The Gallup poll about 5 years ago said, asking American people, do you want to live forever? The average American said, hell no, my marriage wouldn't stand it. 100 years more watching Howard Cosell and forget it. But good pagans who believe in evolution and blossoming and development and outward and diversity, yeah, we're ready to do it. Now again, the laboratories of certain groups in Russia. Oh my God, are we off intergalactic communication? Come on, give me that beam. I can relax for a minute here. In the laboratories of Russia and in Europe and in America today, they have developed life extension pills. I have some friends who are immunologists who are giving these pills to their own family. So it's happening. But naturally, anyone who believes in the old death religions, you know, and doesn't want it except for themselves. But and of course, dope. 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 My God. Why is dope so controversial? Well, I'll tell you why dope is controversial. Because drugs, brain-activating drugs, drugs that give you access to different circuits of your system, of your nervous system, are, of course, the ultimate weapon against the death cult and against the bureaucracies. Because there are right now in laboratories of this country and in Basel, Switzerland. Oh, Basel, Switzerland. I was I was in exile in Switzerland for a year and a half. Guess why I went to Switzerland? I didn't go to Zurich for the money or for Geneva for Bernie Kornfeld. I went to Basel, where old Paracelsus got fired from the university a couple of centuries ago. Do you know that in the storerooms and vaults of Basel, Switzerland, those alchemists have drugs right now that would do things to your brain you couldn't conceive of. They've got aphrodisiacs that can make you 1,000 times hornier than you've ever thought of. They've got intelligence pills that'll make you so smart. They've got pills that'll... do you know that there's some valleys near Basel, Switzerland, where there are colonies of people who haven't drawn an unhallucinated breath in 500 years? Anyway, we know very little about what's going on in these chemical laboratories, but there are hundreds and thousands of organic chemists who are working on. Now, the paradox here is they're not going to tell the news about it. You know, because in order to test intelligence increased pills, in order to try out new aphrodisiacs, in order to hang a new molecule on a mescaline atom on a mescaline molecule, or the problem of getting you an LSD dose that's 10 times stronger and lasts for 15 minutes. See, who are they going to try it out on? Well, are there any questions? No. I want to tell you a little bit about... I'm rather embarrassed, but I'm resigned to the fact that evolution works at its own pace. You see, about 20 years ago today, Aldous Huxley taught the band to play at Harvard University. He came breezing in there when I was a young lad of 40, and he started telling us about these magical brain-activating substances. Now, in those days, we were dealing with primitive and crude instruments. I remember we were like Wilbur and Orville Wright with those early LSD experiences. Hey, Wilbur, you all right? Here goes Aldous Huxley. Aldous, you all right? Watch that tree, Aldous. Here goes Aldous. Here comes Aldous. How about a round of applause for Aldous? Hey. Here comes Richard Alpert, rubber-bombed us. How about that? I saw Richard Alpert came over for a day about a month ago. He's doing great. I mean, he's given up being a holy man. That's smart. I told him, Richard, don't paint yourself in that corner too long. He's doing wonderful. He's changing and growing, and he's out there experimenting and moving around. He asked Richard Alpert, where do you live? And he said, here and now. Had a wonderful evening last night with Allen Ginsberg. I remember when Allen came to Harvard, blew our mind. Hey, Allen Ginsberg, how about that? Huh? Spent the afternoon with William Burroughs. Hey, there's a you go to some people's houses. They have these chakras, where all they have the spine and all that. William Burroughs has a profile of a human body, which is used for revolver practice. Don't leave house without being warmed. Well, I know it's an in-joke. Anyway, another person that came to Harvard University and really taught us a great deal, one of the great underestimated philosophers now, Alan Watts. How about him? Oh, yeah. And how about John Lilly? What a frontier person. My wife Barbara and I went up to Marineland, south of San Francisco, about a month ago, and we had one of the most amazing erotic experiences of our lives. We took off our clothes and went into a pool where there were two naked dolphins. Now, I've always, I'm basically an insect person. I think that insects are very smart, and I enjoy their chemical. We all have our genetic sectors to work with. So I've always, kind of listened to Lilly, but I never really dug the dolphin thing until I want to tell you, my wife and I are multi-neurological monogamists, see. But when we took off our clothes and got into a pool with a dolphin, now let me remind you what a dolphin is. A dolphin is about 8 foot long, and the dolphin body is irradiated with nerves, and it feels like, when you touch it, like an 8 foot long clitoris or penis, equipped with a brain twice as big as ours. Now, is that higher intelligence? It was like Valley or New Jersey wife swapping. I'm suddenly in this pool, and there's this dolphin named Rosie, and you touch her body, and your hand just kind of slides through it. And then I was a robot, and automatically, suddenly my arms are around her, and she turns and gives me that grin. Suddenly she's taking me down and around, and I look over, and there's my wife Barbara with Joe. Write a letter to Penthouse magazine. Tell you the truth, we've all been wounded by, our Judeo-Christian upbringing. When I went out of the pool and said goodbye to Rosie, I felt like, some slam-bam guy in town, like, I'll call you next time I'm in town, I felt guilty leaving her. But Lilly said to me, we have a lot to learn about our inhibitions from the dolphins. How about a round of applause for John Lilly, huh? Anyway, we're into the third generation of drugs. They're going to be strong, like computers and like airplanes, and like anything else, television. The drugs that are coming out of the laboratories now are stronger, more precise, they're safer, and that's going to be a help to us. Now, are there any questions? Is there any sacred cow I haven't insulted? What did I think about when? When you were spending 2.5 years in solitary confinement. What did I think about? Yeah, well, I spent a lot of time thinking about how to get out. See, I'm undomesticated. All pagans are undomesticated. You put a wild, free creature in you're looking... all I did was try to figure out, a way to... but I also wrote 7 books. I figured out a card game, which is a form of solitaire, which is a perfect meditative model of how to win. Solitaire, is a Judeo-Christian game. You lose all the time. Okay, I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to confide in you an interplanetary trick for dealing with the forces of control and death as we move into the future. For about 5 years back in the 60s, a group of us lived at Millbrook, New York in an enormous retreat where at the time we were dumb enough to believe in utopian fantasies and visions and improving ourselves and flowering and blossoming in the splendor. Hey, where's it gone? It's coming back. But anyway, we didn't know what we were doing. We were out farther than, Captain Kirk had ever been. So anytime people came to the door, we had no, the rest of the world was going crazy out there. Something about drugs that makes law enforcement officers crazy that don't take them, that problem. We had a real witchcraft. Well, it's going to take a long time to really understand what happened in the 60s. It was a real, it's like Salem. The culture freaked and went hysterical. Anyway, within Millbrook, we had no elite at Millbrook. We had a lot of people with fragile personalities held together by paper clips and rubber bands. I'm not talking about heavy-duty survivors, but there was never 1 minute at Millbrook where there was any fear. Doors were always open, and we never had any weapons, and so meanwhile, the world's going crazy out there. And we had an open policy for a while. Anyone that came to the door, who's there? Jesus Christ. Okay, check your cross and come on in. Who's there? Buddha. Come on in, Buddha. Like that. Who's there? UFO. Okay, come on in. Right. We were ready to listen, learn from everyone. Interesting thing, there was never one act of violence. There was only one act of violence in 5 years in Millbrook, and that was a vegetarian beating up on a meat eater. I don't know what that means, but... Now, during this period, we met many people who play the game of spiritual one-upmanship or cosmic brain fucking. I'm sure you're familiar with this thing. See, anyone that tells you anything about life that doesn't make you feel good and laugh, it's not right, because I want to tell you, I've just received word from Intergalactic Headquarters, and you're the first to know it. Evolution is working perfectly. There are no mistakes. Our species is not important enough to make mistakes. We're doing fine. We're growing. We're learning. Matter of fact, this is a rather dull planet. It's going along exactly as scheduled. So we had a lot of people coming along, though, that were trying to lay heavy trips on us. I remember one time there was a Christian mystic who came with followers. Now, followers! Don't talk to me about followers. Listen, I go so fast and high, you can't follow me. Come on, you want to fly formation? Yeah, but nobody likes followers. Nobody. Leaders don't like followers. Followers don't like followers. This mystic Christian came, he had his followers, and I got a can of beer, popped it, and spray one up, and I put my feet up on the patio at Millbrook and started one of these games of, the death force versus the life force. And you know how these games are played. He started saying, what's the most important thing to you? And I said, well, intelligence. Okay, you can have intelligence, but I'll take wisdom. The love card came up. These are the old neurogenetic, racial, intergalactic, navigational monopoly cards. He got love. He got Christianity. He got spiritualism. He got brotherhood of man. Like there, I got this one card, intelligence. Then the sex card came up. He didn't want that, so I got that one. Then he gets thrifty, he gets brave, he gets clean, he gets reverent, he gets IRS, he gets credit cards. Jeez, I'm in bad shape here. And then the science card came up. I flicked that so fast he didn't even see it happen. And went on this way. He got Buddhism, he got Plato, he got Aristotle, he got 12 apostles, except for Judas, who like that. And then the dope card came up. So I got that. And went on. Pretty soon he had like every card in the deck. I had these 4 little simple cards. I had science. I had intelligence. I had dope.